connection is right there, you know? So right away, tremendous connection. Big, physical guy. Downhill player, defensive player of the year in the region. I mean, I think he's been up to 235 plus. When we first got here, he came for the first junior day, we were in love with Popo. The connection, the family, Mirabal, you know, knowing him from way back, and then just the way he played, his style of play, a ball of energy. He is off the charts. We got to mention Malik Bryant too, because Malik Bryant has dual value. He's been playing inside linebacker, and he's an absolute stud. And he also has edge pressure capabilities, and he's a guy that we're going to be able to use at both those spots. One of the highest rated players in the country at the linebacker position, but also recognized for his ability to bring pressure to the passer. Awesome family, has been with us for a long, long time. We expect great things from him. You mentioned Georgia, Josh Horton. That's exactly what 3 technique should look like. You know, he's over 6'4", he's 285 to 290 pounds. You probably saw footage of him on Twitter dunking over his friends. Didn't work out so well for his friend, but this guy is a jumbo athlete. That's explosive, natural pass rusher, natural run stopper, comes out of his hips. I mean, this is the best part about him. Okay, Coach Williams, you know, we got a chance to know him really well at Langston Hughes. Tremendous coach. I'm talking about culture. He gets there, I think their first year they won 2 games. 2 games. This is what attracted him to Miami. And then his 4-year track there culminated in them winning the state title, you know, about 2 weeks ago. You know, you need that. And you want that on your team. Guys that are willing to go through what it takes to do it right. And I've seen, you know, the tough times. I've seen, you know, the building, have gone through some of the ups and downs. So I think he embodies all that stuff and more. Marcelius Pulliam, again, also another state champion. And a guy, we were drawn to him because when we turned on his film, he was knocking people out left and right. That's what he was doing. Size, speed guy. He's over 6'3". He's over 220 already, and room to grow. And smart, tough, and a hard worker. You know, those are things that we just weren't willing to compromise. Awesome guy to be around, all right? We didn't mention Caleb Spencer, who needs to be mentioned. I mean, another guy, turn on the film. Hard to find a safety in high school right now that runs the eye like he does and puts a stop to the run game. And he understands what the fits are. He understands coverages extremely well. High-level IQ guy, really hard worker. Had an injury, season cut short, but up until then, was one of the more physical players we had seen on tape at any position. Awesome guy to be around, great family. A guy I certainly had to mention. I just don't want to leave anybody out. Didn't mention Robert Stafford, man. I mean, that's one of the most electric players in all of football right now. That guy does it all. I mean, he's like Spider-Man. I mean, he's catching balls all over the place as a receiver, as a DB, as a return specialist. Again, awesome to be around these families. Awesome to be around them. He's incredible. Mentioned Bobby and Robbie, Jaden Wayne, we mentioned him. We mentioned Riley. We talked about Antoine Jackson, Mark Fletcher, Damari, Ruben, Popo. Did I miss anybody? Hurricane Bane, man. Hurricane Bane. Imagine being Reggie Bane walking around the office all the time. Hey, when's your brother coming? When's your brother coming? So credit to him, because you know what? He's a great young coach, and he's another one that's here independent of his brother's recruiting process. Reggie's a really, really good young football coach, and you need those guys. You need people that are going to be good for young people. Critically important. So got to have that. But I mean, you see what we're recruiting. I mean, we want to go after the best of the best and not slow down. And guys that are willing to compete, right? That's almost like a lost art almost nowadays, right? We don't want whiners, complainers. We don't want tweet monsters. We want real deal people that understand the value of an education at the University of Miami, a private school elite education in the best city in the world, and rebuilding what has always been one of the premier and going to be one day the premier program in the country once again. So the targets were laid out, and credit to the staff and everybody else. They did a great job.
Coach, as far as just immediate impact, how would you compare this class to previous classes that you've recruited?
This is, man, there was a 21 class at the University of Oregon, and a 19 class, and there were 3 straight years of top 10 picks. Same thing at the University of Alabama. I feel that this class, 14 Alabama, the 2021 Oregon, 3 best talent acquisition like coups that I've been a part of. This is what I'm most excited about. You know, this is where I played and all that stuff. And it's not done yet. You know, you didn't have a transfer portal back then, so you still have room to grow this thing even more. Okay, so yeah, it hit on all cylinders. I know we got a couple spots we mentioned that we've got to fill up a little bit more, but all in all, it's a complete class. It really is, you know, and it's going to make us better. Our players are going to make them better. Our players played a huge role in these guys coming to the University of Miami. And you want your players to feel and take ownership in the recruiting process. That was a huge part of myself being a student athlete here under Coach Johnson and Coach Erickson. They made it clear, if you want to have a great team, you recruit your teammates. You know who's a good guy. You know who's a competitor, right? Go get him. And they did. They did, and we're super excited to have them.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank you
Coach.
very much.
Anything else?
Well, the loafers. Everybody's talking about it. You gotta know where they're from.
Look, I'm sorry I'm not as fashionable as you, you know, and some of the rest in here. Look, I catch all kinds of hell from my wife on the way I dress all the time, so I appreciate you adding on to that. So, I mean, what can I say, man? I don't have time to shop, but hopefully this off season, maybe you could find time to help me just dress better, and we'll go with it. I don't know what to say, but like I said, it's just very thankful and grateful to be here. We've got a lot of work to do. There is no flinching. There is no nothing except the mentality to go forward. But the right pieces are starting to fall in place, and you know, it's back to work.
Great.
Back to work.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you guys.
everyone for joining us.
Appreciate you.